maybe that's not it. Talk to the people, and then people like, I don't like to be around people and all this. You never know, man. You really never know who's hurting. Because I've seen guys smile as brigade commanders and then take their life
Yeah.
and not, get ready to move up the ladder to the next rank and then take their life. There's no answer for it right now. I've had a good partner. He retired with CSM. I'm glad he's still here. He called me when he was in Hawaii going through it. He told me after the fact that he was getting ready to blow his brains out. He said, "Wow, I look so serious."
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
Serious
to another
guy.
episode of the Open Discussion Podcast. I have another special guest for me, and it's a repeat offender. Somebody called me not too long ago and said, "Hey, you have Big Wed on there, man. You got to bring it back on the show." So I got first-time retired Webster. Came in early on and blessed on the show and said some good things. So somebody requested him to come back on the show, man. How you doing, Web?
I'm doing awesome, man. You always have an amazing segue, man, to
I'm just trying to help you
do what you
out,
do.
man. You know, you a repeat offender. We're gonna have to check. You're from New York, so we got to double check, make sure you know what I'm
I've known
saying.
you too. I've known you too long, man. So I'm gonna tread lightly here.
I call him first time extraordinary. So you and I, we did agree on something for the first time that
What's that?
when you and I both were serving back as first time back in Alaska. You already had first time time already. You came in, took over HSB. But one thing that we can both agree on, and I think Phil can attest to this, that I was number one and you were number two.
Phil's not here to go against that though. I like the way you did. It's your podcast. So I'm gonna allow
I
you
gotta
to do
set
that.
you up, man. Because I know you're gonna give me a lot of crap about it. But no, man, brother, I really I appreciate you. And I know we've had a lot of discussion on different ranks and different positions within the military in terms of the Army.
Yeah.
And the first sergeant rank is a very, very important rank. And just the position that comes along with it. Because as a new first sergeant, I learned a lot from you, watching you. You have served as a first sergeant for a long period of time, and then HSB, of course. So I learned a lot from you. Not your bad habits, but I learned some things from you. So what makes that
POTV and then break me down.
So considering you have a lot of time as a first sergeant, what make the position so unique, and what are some things you learn about the position? Because no matter how many years you serve in that position, every day you learn something new because you deal with soldiers every day, and people have different situations you got to deal with. What make the position so unique? What are some things you learn about yourself serving that position, and advice you can give the folks that are serving as a first sergeant currently? You know, things have changed, but I know the position still remains the same.
You're right. So 5 years diamond time, man. I can tell you, from my personal perspective, being a line battery, man, being artillery, being a first sergeant with the line is different than being a first sergeant at HHB, because HHB have so many moving freaking parts. And I can tell you, and I'm glad you segued with this. So I'm gonna start from the line batteries part. It's all responsibility. You're responsible for every freaking thing. You got to have a good team with your commander. And I've learned that throughout the years from having the young PLs as a platoon sergeant to go, because a platoon sergeant is actually a platoon first sergeant, admin. You got to learn how to communicate. You can't come with your hind part on your shoulders every day, man. You got to know how to be an effective communicator, because there are people that are depending on you. So that's where the responsibility level and the maturity comes in. If you can't communicate with your counterpart, then that's a significant issue. It's on you to do that. And that's to all the young people out there that still serving these spots and want to get that spot, but don't understand the responsibility part of it. Responsibility is it's a big thing, man. We see the fall in our force right now, because people want to get promoted, but they don't want to deal with all the responsibilities like you and I did. And then you did it at a level at CSM. But I tell you, it's the first time, man, you run everything. You got to keep a cool head. Even when things get crazy, it's controlled chaos. See, you know that just like I know. You and I, you like, when I was in HHB, you would call and say, "Hey, what you doing over there? You ain't doing nothing in the basement."
Yeah.
And I've learned, even from you and us, we talking and joking and stuff, theater operation to garrison, you have to be able to have the control of chaos. You have to be, you're the rhythm of the unit.
You know what's so amazing? I used to come upstairs sometimes at your office and walk through just to give a sneak peek, see what's happening. And I used to see the line of folks sitting waiting to talk to you. I asked myself, I mean, I knew the answer. Why they want to talk to him in the first place? He'd give me, what exactly would he give me? Some popcorn, some bubble gum machine up there. What's going on? But it tells a lot about you, right? Because we come across a lot of first time where nobody want to talk to them. So what my question here is, what condition did you establish? What climate did you create to allow folks to come and talk to you, on different issues?
Well, I humanize the rank, man. We're all flawed by nature, but if you get to a point where soldiers stop bringing you your problems, and I'm a coin this because I've heard this several times over. I've heard it from Colonel Goins. I've heard it from General Colin Powell. Once soldiers quit bringing you their issues, you're battle ineffective. And that's how can you be that leader that soldiers want to implement? I mean, put in everyday operation and say, "Hey, I want to be like that person." They want to emulate you, but then they can't even talk to you. They don't know anything about you. So you have to be personal sometime and keep it professional, but just it's not letting your guard down. It's like, hey, you can talk to me about some things. I was transparent sometimes about the way I was raised, and then I wasn't used to this and wasn't used to that because I never had a unit where I had females in until I took HHB. And I said, "Hey, you won't be around here saying the things we would say on a regular gun line or whatnot." And I had to learn that, and it was pretty much easy because the people that I had, they always wanted to bring me their issues, no matter what time of the day. They would say, "Hey," I looked at it like they were my kids, man, because that's what you are as a first time. You're a surrogate father, man. You raising somebody else's child, the good, the bad, the ugly, and different. And the stuff they used to tell me, I was like, "Hey, whole squad, time out." But I made it easier for them to not let their guard down, but be comfortable at telling me things. Because if you get to where a soldier quit communicating with you, never know what they're going through. The mental portion, finances, they breaking down the physical. You watch them during physical during PT, but other than that, man, just being impressionable and knowing that, hey, I'm human too. I make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Make them feel like they can
Absolutely.
talk to me about
I
anything.
was Yeah, no, no, you absolutely right. There was some first sign that I observed, some very close and some from a distance.
Yeah.
Back in the second, we had this guy we called Sean Harris. Harris was pretty
Hmm.
very very phenomenal leader. And then I have
Yeah.
first sign Nixon. We both know that I talked all the
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
then first sign Trent. You may not know Trent, but
Hmm.
Trent had a profound impact on me and how he conducted himself. And then big old, Command Sergeant retired first sign at the time. Davis, we all know Davis, right?
Yeah.
Click
Yeah.
Independent,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
That
Click.
I somewhat observe, I see E6 and E7 and say, okay, I can observe these guys and extract something from their leadership style, on how they ran the battery just from a leadership perspective. As
Hmm.
for you, was there anybody who you observed, you say, hey, I think this guy or this girl is the model, or I'm going to grab something from here or from there to somewhat formulate my style as a first arm?
Sergeant Major Gardner, man.
Terry
Command
Gardner?
Sergeant Major Gardner. Yeah, Terry Gardner, man. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good man.
Yeah, hands
Good
down,
man.
man, because not just because he was our brigade sergeant major when we wanted to deployment, but just the way how he conducted business, man. He never was too busy. You know what I'm saying? He made time. He prioritized the soldier. He made time to keep himself straight, but because I was his right hand man when we were in theater operation, and just to watch how he interacted, and I was like, man, that's pretty significant. Being a CSM and you got to move around the battlefield and know how to communicate effectively. Because I was his ear on the ground. I was his eyes on the ground. And just to watch him circulate throughout the battlefield and people like, hey, somebody I got to talk to you real quick. All right, set up an appointment. And he would make time for him. So
Yeah,
I said, man, I've had a lot of sergeant majors out there, man, but he's one that stands out, man. And hands down, man, he's one that stands out. I had my sergeant major Redmore up at drum. Awesome. That was my Hawkido partner, man.
I've heard the
Big
name.
dude. Yeah, but hands down, man, I made Terry Gardner, man. I mean, just how he was and how he is as a human. He was never too big for you to communicate to him.
Yeah, Terry Summers Garner was a good man, man. Well, he is a good man because he's still with us.
Yeah,
And I still
yeah.
got to talk to him. I went to his office one time trying to solicit a job.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to get an HHC brigade position as a assignment major.
Yeah.
He just okay ain't gonna happen, man. You the youngest guy around here. I'm not gonna give you HHC. We got it's not. I mean, at least I tried, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first song you're dealing with a lot of people, right? But there's two
Yeah.
category of folks that would pay a lot in terms of if you were successful or unsuccessful. One of them is the
Yeah.
platoon sergeant for which within your organization, and the second one is
Yeah.
the battalion brigade CSM. For
Yeah.
me, I was fortunate enough to have some outstanding platoon sergeant. All of them.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah. You did.
I
Yeah, you
had
did.
Ramos, I had Andres, I
Yeah.
had Carbonero, I had Green. Those were guys who took good care of me. Really, all of them took good care of
All
me. All of them is CSM. So, and as a battalion, we had as far as Command Sergeant Moore, and we had
hmm
uh, Dinger. For me, at the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was for you looking at hindsight, how is that relationship important to you in terms of the first sergeant to the platoon sergeants and then the first sergeant to CSM? How important is that? Because some folks get it wrong, right? Some first sergeant
Yeah.
believe that I don't know how to talk to the battalion CSM, the brigade CSM, the platoon sergeant, whatever. How important is those two category of folks in terms of you being a successful first sergeant?
Well, so like, hey, you got to have a relationship. It's a
Mm.
relationship. If people see you together, it's like I always talk about the almighty finger extended and joined, or the mighty fist. If you spread apart, you can break each one of what those off. It's all about unity. But I've had several guys. I'm glad you asked the point. Man, I love the way you segue that. People don't understand, man. I've always utilized this, even when I was a young Sergeant 85, man, talking to my platoon sergeant will tell me, hey, one day you're gonna be in this position, watch how you do things. Cause I used to see first I was like, man, I don't want to deal with this joke. And I said, I never want to be like that. I
Yeah.
always want soldiers to bring me their issues, you know what I'm saying? But for the fact that you want, if anything goes on, and that person will have your back. That communication, man, and you're always the go-to guy. And you notice I've always been the go-to guy every unit I get with to, man. And it's like, man, how did they know this guy? He just got here. It's like, oh, somebody called ahead and said this is on the games roster. I've always had a good communication with whoever I work with because I believe in the respect. People always say, I respect the rank, but I ain't got to respect the person. That person's wearing that rank. So that doesn't make any sense what you're talking about. You can't talk to the rank. You got to speak to that person and have that respect because you get it back in some shape or form. And I think people got to understand that it's a business. Because we always talk about our continuity books. And people don't realize, you're here today, gone the next. Move out, draw fire, the next person's in, they got it. Mission complete, round complete. And just don't take it personal, man. It's a business. You got to have that communication. You want to be able to talk to your platoon sergeant to first sergeant to CSM, CSM to brigade CSM. You want to be able to tap on all those and make sure you have a gate of communication. When they get to like, I don't like talking to that guy. That guy's messy. I've seen it. You've seen it, Z. And that's a lot of immaturity, man. I know I'm getting long with it on that
No,
because
no,
I've
you're
seen it. You've
fine.
seen it.
No, no,
But
you're fine. Every more critical, right? Is I do believe the center of gravity here within the organization, no matter if it's a battery company troop, is our
yep.
first sergeant commander relationship. We cannot
Mm-hmm.
underestimate the role the commanders play because he or she
Ah,
is the commander for the organization. For me, again, I don't want to just make it about me, but I was very, very lucky to have outstanding, a battery commander that I talked to up to today. Some guys can not even talk to their old former,
yeah.
command or whatever. I know we discussed the importance of both the
Your
first
sister
sergeant,
waved at you.
yeah, the first sergeant and the platoon sergeant relationship, the first sergeant and CSM relationship. But what about the first sergeant commander relationship? Because that is huge. For folks that are currently serving the position or potentially serving the position, I know we know times have changed since you transitioned, since I transitioned. But what are some
Mm-hmm.
advice would you give first sergeant coming in the position in terms of their commander that is serving alongside with?
Get to know the commander, know his intent, and get to know him on a personal level. Because if once you get comfortable with talking to somebody, they'll tell you everything you want to know. Go do sit down. Go do a lunch. Y'all sit down and talk about. Don't always talk about army, army, army. Sit down and know each other because it gives you more an impression. Because a lot of things people are like, this is what I do, this is what I do, and they're like almost like Stedford, make like cookie cutter. Be real with yourself. A lot of people don't. They're scared to. They had this machismo thing that they always got to have. Like I got to always be like this. Not letting your guard down is you trusting the person you with. That is a relationship. That battery commander in that first on is a profound relationship, and you got to have one because if you don't have one, you won't have growth in that unit. It's essential to move forward in anything. The policies, the intent, and the balance and the rhythm in the unit, whatever unit you're in. Some people don't get it, some people do. And I've shared this throughout the years. I've been retired 10 years, Z, and people still comment, hey, what worked for you? I said, probably won't work for you, but it worked for me because I'm a communicator. I can write a book about that, man.
No,
Because
no, go ahead, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Well, the communication, man, is all about the energy. If I come and say you the commander and I come to you and like, oh, Captain Z, this is my plan, me being the first on the thing, and you're looking like this guy. I've always stepped on your toes. Like, you're the commander, I'm your right-hand man. I enforce what you want and the intent for the betterment of the unit to keep harmony. That's our leadership.
Yeah.
If I come in kicking down doors and don't even know your intent, man, I've already I already kicked the game to the side, man, and soldiers will fail because of us.
Yeah, yeah. No, you are right. That relationship has to be there. No matter if you disagree with the commander in terms of decision, that's something that's going to be discussed closed door, right? Never
Yep.
disagree with the commander in front of the troops. Never. Uh,
You and I've seen this
yeah,
where commanders in first sergeants or CSMs, and it's not a good look
no,
at all. Professionalism and military bearing.
yeah, no, you're right. Any story in terms of as a first sergeant friction, at any time with platoon sergeant or sergeant major or commander, because like I said, for me, I didn't have no, whatever. I had one incident, but we kind of worked through that. It was not anything major.
Yeah,
Some of you very familiar with.
yeah,
Because like we said, sometimes you see a first sergeant that don't get along with the battalion command team, or platoon sergeant don't like him or
yeah,
her, not because he or she's doing the right thing. It's just because they don't have no people skills, right? Because it's all about the
yeah.
people you deal with. But through your experience serving as a first sergeant for about 2,500 years, did you come across any any issue to where
There you go again.
any issue where you
I've experienced a lot, Z, not to cut you off.
okay,
I witnessed one of my brother first sergeants at the time, man, was line battery. We just came from a battalion meeting, man, staff call. And he was talking to one of his sergeant first classes, and he had him doing push-ups. And I
what?
stepped over like, yes, you won't even believe it, Z. I stepped up, man. I said, hey, man, let me talk to you real quick. He said, hold on, Battle. I got to take care of this. I said, let me talk to you real quick. Because professionalism, that's the sergeant first class. I talked to him and told, hey, man, you go ahead and do what you're doing, man. I said, we got to talk real quick. So he told the sergeant first class to go ahead and get up and wait for him back in his office. So I pulled him to the side. We walked for about 5 or 10 minutes. I was talking to him. I said, that's not even a good look in the battalion area. That's not a good look nowhere. Because when you were a sergeant first class, has any first sergeant ever did you like that? And he said, no. I said, so why would you do this young NCO like that?
Yeah,
His next step is first sergeant. And then after that, CSM, which this guy did make first sergeant at CSM. But the guy said he retired as a first sergeant. I didn't know what the beef was, but I said, man, that was totally uncalled for. Not knowing that he was short term, like I call people when they go road. This first sergeant was going road, retired on active duty. And I always ask people, if you go road, go ahead and retire. Because what they
yeah,
always say, all soldiers are entitled to outstanding leadership. If you feel that you've fallen back and all you want to do is this and that, just go ahead and retire. But he said, I'm trying to teach him. But I said, you don't do that in this. Say, hey, sit down, coach, teacher, mentor. And he's like me. He already had a little first on time. But we talked, and I didn't chastise him or anything. I said, DL Webster, Big Web wouldn't do it like that, man.
no,
I said, because I've had a problem with a sergeant for class, I know I was a hellion when I was a smoke man. How did they deal with me? I thought about it. One day I'm gonna be in that position. I need to tone it back. Was I right? And I assessed myself, do a self-assessment, and it worked out. But the guy told me, the sergeant class now then retired CSM told me, Top, I really appreciate that. He said, because I was ready to put hands on him. So I couldn't let you do that, man. He said, no, if anybody would have stopped me, I know you could have stopped me. I said, but I can't let you do that, man.
yeah, that's
Even
sound
though
first
that
class, man.
individual probably deserved it, man. You know the sergeant
Yeah,
for class.
yeah, yeah. That's
You
sound
know
first.
him as a CSM.
That's a sound first class, and this certain level of respect has to be random. You cannot do that to
Yeah,
disgrace
but
a senior non-commissioned officer. No matter what.
he still calls me. He still calls me Big Bro to this day. He said, "Man, my wife thanks you because you saved my military career." I said, "I probably say that first on life, man."
We're
you
trying to
know,
help you out. That's all. Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
but
that's that's crazy.
professionalism, Z. That's why I got so many stories, man, and
Yeah,
locked in this brain that I've seen and witnessed stuff that most can't even fathom. And being the first time, man, for those years, man, it just taught me a lot in life, man. Because being a father, a grandfather now, three grandbabies, you are the pinnacle. They look at you for everything.
yeah,
And when you don't think they see you, they see you. They're recording, just like the soldier out there. They record everything. Look what first sergeant doing. They follow everything you do. Look what sergeant major doing. They watch.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Oh, that's amazing. Just want to do a quick transition, man, because you and I came in at a different time, right? And we
Yeah,
know from the early 2000 up to mm, 2018, 19.
yeah.
You know, there
Uh,
was constant deployment going on. And there came a
yep.
time in our career to where you deploy, where you prep, you deploy, you come back, you reset, you train, you deploy. It was constantly going and going and going. I know you have multiple deployment we're going to talk about. I just want to explore combat deployment, combat operations, because there's a thing sometimes folks want to talk about, and I'm not advocating we discuss anything classified because some things we can't talk about. But
No. Nah.
But just I want to go into the mind frame of a soldier who is about to deploy for the first time and true consecutive deployment for you. You first deployed during the Civil War. And a lot of things changed.
Did we have catapults then? Or we had true
You
artillery?
know, during the Civil War and so on and so forth. But so lot of things changed. My first deployment was 2003. We went over to Iraq and things were different. But you
Yeah.
went through the first Gulf War and so and so.
Yeah.
It's just gradual. We can progress in terms of how will you, because every deployment is different, right? But the preparation is also different
Yes.
as well. And the experiences is different. So how will you distinguish the difference between the first Gulf War, and the second Gulf War? How, if you can recall, how did you guys prepare and what was it for you, and how did that mess with your psyche and the stress that comes along with it, just the preparation piece?
I'm gonna be honest and very, very transparent. I said, I ain't signed up for this. I came to get college money. I didn't want my mother to pay for my college. And truthfully speaking, I'm being very, very transparent.
I
But
got
then
you.
I'm a soldier, man. CA, man. Combat arms. They told us it was like we got to my unit. We were cohort, and they told us, hey, we're getting ready to go over, and I'm like, man, go over
Over
where?
where?
This is how. Let's over. They said, man, we going over the side. I'm like, oh man, but then I thought about this training I've had. I was like, yeah, I'm graduated basic training. I got this and that. My driver's badge. I was amping myself up because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But
Yeah.
my mindset was, hey, I'm going to go do some things. And it was crazy with the stuff we had to do, but we didn't see a lot of action, a lot of hurry up and wait. People just don't understand that. But moving forward, the mindset, then I was a private. The things I've always said, I tell you every unit I've been to, do what you're told, do what you're told, do what you're told.
Yeah.
That's all you got to worry about. And that's exactly what I did. And you got look, this is back in 1990, man. Going into 91. And people like, man, I said I was a private, man. I did what I was told. Was I scared? Yes, I was scared. I didn't know. But then when you know that you were coming back and you like, man, you see all these other NCOs, slick sleeve, they ain't got nothing. You a PFC with a combat pad. They like, this joker,
Yeah.
it was, you walked around, they're still in
Chest up.
VDUs, yeah, chest out and whatever. I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. But then once we knew what we were doing, we got back. Coming back home was a transition. I was private, man, and it was different than having, you were 1,000 there. You had all that money.
Hmm. And tax-free money. Yeah.
Yeah, tax-free money. But then all these deployments are different. So then we deployed again. F1. Good Lord, man. Mindset different. Section chief got these young soldiers and tell them, hey, it's all right in this. It's not in crime. Making sure all your lists are done. All the assets are affairs are in order. Make sure all the affairs are in order, and checkbooks, all this stuff, man. And people are like, well, I got to leave this and that. And some people are trying to go AWOL because they didn't want to go. They were
Mm.
telling him, Chief, I can't go. I don't want to go. I don't want to die. I said, man, you don't even know what we're going to be doing. And I'm not going to get crazy with it, man. Every deployment is different. Deployed as a private, I was advanced party. As a section chief, as a gunnery sergeant, as a platoon sergeant, as a first sergeant. All those facets in those positions in combat. Yeah, a lot of people can't say that. And it's crazy because every position I held a certain standard because I was supposed to uphold the standard. And it's different when you're telling people. I could never lie to them and say, we're bringing everybody back because I'm not God.
Yeah.
We're going to fight because we train how we fight. We fight how we train. Every deployment was different from a private to being in charge of soldiers, seeing them do things and you train, you look at them, you're like, man, this guy is getting it. I like that. And they're staying calm. They say, whatever you say, Chief. And they're looking at you. For every deployment, man, it hits you kind of different because, you know about Philippe, but that one hit me hard. But he's my platoon sergeant. So I know transitioning going to my next deployment because I know once I got back from that first 12 months, 6 months later, I was right back in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Afghanistan, I was there as a gunnery sergeant. Then come back, come back another 6 months. Again, I'm going for another year as a platoon sergeant. I come back
Were you
again.
voluntary for this daggum assignment?
No,
You put your hands up.
I was
Hey, put
no,
me in, coach. Put me in.
I was voluntold. I was voluntold.
I know.
People like, how you get that? But then going back as a platoon sergeant a couple of times as the first sergeant, you just went, man. Because we were at, I know you did this being 82nd, go up to West Point for summer cadet training. So that's where we found out.
What?
We just got back from we just found out we were in Afghanistan. Got back from Afghanistan that year in 2006. So we already that's already 3 deployments knocked out. And they were like, hey, we got a deployment coming up. And everybody said, oh, no, we're not going smoke. I said, 2007, we're going. We were up there 2007. The end of 2007, we're going. They said, we only been back 6 months. So we've been back 8. We'll be all right. And I was joking. It came down on Google about the patch ceremonies and the patch chart, and we will come back up. November '07, we were
Mm.
back in Iraq until February '09. So that was a 15 month. 15 month. And then I was like, hey, it is what it is, man. And everybody like, I don't know how you do this, Smoke. I was like, dude, it does what it's told. Then a couple more after that, I think another Iraq. Then it was the Afghanistan one. That was my last one. That was in the seventh.
Something for me. When we first got told, because I was in Team B knock because the unit went
Uh-huh.
forward first, and then I follow after that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but what kind of really made it pretty, what kind of solidified everything for me was going to SRP,
Yeah.
and you have to go and verify your SGLI. That death benefits and stuff. They got to make sure you
Yep.
sign whatever you got to write down because at the time it would just mean, and my mom was the recipient one.
Yeah.
It had an impact on me, really. It kind of clicked
Yeah.
because for the first time in my life, I had to sign a document and say, just in case something happened to me. Of course, it's always been there, but now
Yeah.
I know the chance of me coming back is pretty 50-50, of course. But
Yeah.
that
Always
had an
is.
impact on me in terms of, signing that, put my mom name on it, the entire lump sum. For
Yeah.
you, with all those deployments, how were you able to cope with that? Because it's not just you, right? Because you have your family, you got kids, whatever. How was you able to break that news back to the spouse if you was married at the time? Say, "Hey, baby, we got to go again."
Yeah.
How did she receive that?
I could tell you, my wife, man, she's a hard one.
I keep asking
She's
myself, "What
she
you doing with you?" I don't know, man. I keep, you know,
she's a hard. I'm fortunate that she was in the army also
yeah,
before. She did her time and then she got out. But she was admin, man. She knew all the stuff that was going on. She said, "Babe, I know you got to do this, you got to do that." So she was pretty good with knowing all the ins and outs. So far as like the SGLI and all this good stuff, man. It's sad she didn't want me to go, but she know I got to go. And the
yeah,
kids, man, kids not and crying. It kind of tear at your heart a little bit. You like, I'm gonna do this again. I said, hopefully I come back. And then, and I had to say that because, we're on borrowed time already anyway. And that's me being brutally honest about this. I've seen so many people that I've had to do some things and make sure that I mean they're not coming back and I'm telling my troopers so and so is not here no more, man. They're gone. And they break down like I'm tired of this and that. It's just the nature of the beast. And that's why I don't get into a lot of things. But I tell people everything, every deployment was different for me because I lost somebody close to me almost every freaking deployment except for the last one
mm,
that you and I were on. And I was out of seven combat tours, man. It changed you. I know I'm changed. I'm a changed person, man. And I deal with things my own way. Go talk to my therapist and all that good stuff, man, when I need to. But I have outlets. Like I was here doing the portrait, work out, run or whatever. But Z, I'm gonna tell you, man, it is every last one of them are different.
yeah,
And sitting down talking to your spouse, but seeing now, the reward after the deployment is seeing your spouse, man, and both of y'all embrace for that first time. Kids on your leg, and then your other kid almost taller than you. It's just something that just beats you has your heartbeat. I just don't
yeah.
want to let that go. So when I retired, man, I felt some solace in that. It brought everything full circle. And am I still scarred? Yeah, I'm battle scarred, but battle tested, man.
Yeah.
And if I can go through all that, I tell anybody, man, I can pretty much go through anything. I don't hold anything back. I'm honest, and then it gets brutal sometimes when you people have to hear that brutal honesty of um from yourself being a honest broker, man. Good Lord, man. Z, you trying to get me, man.
No,
I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking, man. It's a lot it's a lot, man.
no, that's good because we were
I'm
both in different organization, but we stay communicated. We heard things and
yeah.
you
you,
know,
you heard about me?
yeah, I heard about you were out there, had your own little deaf squad doing something. How did that my way, man. That way. But what so doing deployment, is there any challenge that you face both professionally or
Yep.
personally?
Yes.
And how were you able to navigate that?
Professionally, you see things that wasn't supposed to happen, and you try to tell them, "Hey, we don't do stuff like that out here."
Yeah,
Soldiers sleeping on duty on 50 cal. You out there, we're 13 Bravos, man, and we've had transitioned into maneuver.
yeah.
We're out doing maneuvering, and then this guy's got he's got your back, and he's sleep on the
Yeah,
50 cal, and
asleep,
then your
snoring,
PF,
slob all over the
yeah,
place.
knocked out all over the 50 cal. Not taking it serious, and people were trying to get back with their rippets and all this good stuff, man. But the transition from that, man. I don't think people understand how serious the job is, man. Because a lot of them never saw a dead body until I told them we rolled up on one. Just one particular one. That's a quick story, man. But I'm gonna tell you the reason why I love the way this panned out. Not the dead bodies, but the way this panned out. I've got several tours behind me, and this is this person's second tour, and we're maneuver. And he's the lead truck. He's my old gunnery sergeant. I'm from Toonson, man. And I'm real with PL's up there with him. He says, "Oh, we have two dead bodies." And he stopped. I said, "What are you doing, guy? They ain't moving." So he said, "Well, Smoke, I need you up here." I was like, "To look at two dead bodies. Keep pushing, man. Keep pushing." So once we got by, I told him to stop. I went out there and checked them. They were dead. And then I got back in the truck. They wanted the info from or whatever. I said, just people try to show, hey, we don't want y'all in this area, an operation. And we moved on. And that was one of the stories that you heard. That's how we started our team because we got a reputation for ourselves. We wasn't going nowhere. We had a job to do in Colorado Peninsula and we did our job significantly. But just hearing how people reacted, like y'all saw dead, I was like, dude, y'all realize a lot of us been deployed a lot. That ain't the first and that's not gonna be the last. I don't know, man.
Yeah, deployment,
Z,
man, can have a huge impact on people. A lot of folks don't fully understand the toll because once you were deployed, you're ready to you focus on the task at hand, right? You're not having the
yeah,
time to mourn or sit there and think about what's going to happen because you focus.
you really,
You really focus. You don't have the time to think about it, and those invisible wounds folks don't see. You know, when the soldier gets back, that's when it really kind of resurfaces the way some folks cannot handle it that well. The transition to our next segment here, man, the issue of suicide across the veteran
mm,
space, something you've been very passionate about. I know you have the things you do. Just want to talk about a little bit in terms of suicide prevention and suicide awareness. I know you have an organization that you're partnering with one of our
hmm.
brothers and a couple of folks we know in
I'm
terms
just sitting.
of showing your appreciation for just service member, how you give back. If you can talk about, what have you been doing and how long you been doing it to just amplify and bring life and keep the conversation going in terms of veteran suicide and some method to prevent that from happening.
Okay, part of the Bearded Beast Movement LLC. Derek Quincy Bazil, man, he's another first one. I've known Derek Bazil since '92 when we were in Korea. That's how long Derek and I go way back. Derek had retired this month coming up. It'll be 11 years. November it'll be 11 years he retired. I'll hit 11 in March. But neither here nor there. He hit me up right time I retired, man. He said, "Hey, Big Web, I'm thinking about doing this LLC, man, for veteran suicide." And I said, "Okay, whatever, ain't think nothing of it." And then one day they hit me up and say, "Hey, we're nominating Daryl Webster, him and Christopher Ward, another partner of mine, he retired sergeant for the class." They hit me up. I've been doing it. And at first I just like, I'm doing here to nominate for do the veteran suicide. In July 23rd, 2016, I started. I have not stopped. So it's over 9 years pushing to help bring awareness to veteran suicide. So what I do every day, get on there and I call it a real spill. I'll talk for about 5 or 8 minutes, talk about me enjoying life and the pitfalls of deployment and losing soldiers to the dormant demons. And then I do push-ups. I say, if you got time, not to figure how to figure things out, to do some push-ups. So we knock out 22 for the 22 veterans take their life every day. And most of the time I end up doing 100 some push-ups because I turn on music because music soothes the savage beast. And I'm just doing push-ups until the music ends. But I always tell people the significant difference behind it and why I'm so passionate about it. It's young Joker and my battery. His dad had called the CQ desk. We were getting ready to go to the field, November '96. And this guy was going through marital problems. His dad called the CQ desk. I just came in. I lived off post, and he said, "CQ said, Corporal Webster, can you go check on so and so? He's on the third floor." I'm on the third floor, man, and the doors back then they were deadbolt, so I had to knock the hinge off to go through the door, and this soldier was hanging. So I found him hanging, cut him down, did CPR. He was already dead. He was purple, man. But I felt like I had to do that. So when they came out there and got him, and I was a corporal, man, and I seen that. That's not the first time I seen a dead body. That's the first time I actually seen somebody hanging, and it hit me a certain way. Like, what was he going through so much? This guy was probably one of the most happiest specialists I've seen, going through all that. I never would have thought that was him I was cutting down from the tent rope hanging on the pipe in the room. And I've been locked in ever since, but didn't realize it was happening so much, man. In every unit I've ever been to. You start all these rapid deployments and then people getting back. I had a guy that retired with me, man, took his own life. He was he was a retired first sergeant. When I heard about that, he was one of my jump buddies, man, in Alaska. I could have never seen it because he was always an upbeat guy.
Yeah.
Another guy, man, sitting in my PTSD group, sitting right next to me, just got his bachelor's degree. Talked to him every freaking day. One day he didn't come to group, and Doc told us, he called us the following week, and we didn't know why he didn't come. He said, "Hey, so and so killed himself." So that's why I'm actively involved, because we need to have a voice, man. It's not going anywhere. Just because you don't talk about it don't mean it's not going anywhere. It's an issue. It's like an epidemic, man. And people always say, "Oh, if people just go get help, it's more than getting help." This guy was sitting next to me getting help. No one has an answer for it. And that's why I'm actively involved when we do our Zoom calls for our LLC. I not only check to see how they're looking, how they're talking, communicating, but how's their health. Because a lot of people get down their health. Their health as well journey is diminished. And we're soldiers for life, see? How can we spend a quarter of a century, all these years in the army, being fit to fight, and then we get out and just let ourselves go? It don't make no sense to me. And that's a part of the mental portion of it, the strength of it, that keeps me straight every day, man. I've talked to you several times. I have some days because I lost my mom. We was on that last one. It's been 13 years, man. Still hits me some type of way every freaking day. But I know that she knows that I'm doing well because I'm taking care of myself and my beautiful family and my grandkids and stuff. But people always say, like, well, I didn't see the signs. And the signs back in the day was, if these classes we had, it's kind of funny now I look at it. If he started giving all his possessions away, like stereos and all his games, we like, really? Maybe he just wants some money.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not it. Talk to people, and then people like, I don't like to be around people and all this. You never know, man. You really never know who's hurting. Because I've seen guys smile as brigade commanders and then take their life,
Yeah.
and not, get ready to move up the ladder to the next rank and then take their life. There's no answer for it right now. I've had a good partner. He retired as CSM. I'm glad he's still here. He called me when he was in Hawaii going through it. He told me after the fact that he was getting ready to blow his brains out. And I said, man, I'm glad. I don't know why you told me that. He said, man, I love you, dude. And we're both Masons and whatever. And it hit my heart so hard, man. And we met up not too long ago because he moved here. And we met up not too long ago to break bread and just talk and laugh about our times in Alaska, man. You never know what people are going through. So for all this stuff out there, people like, you can see the signs. No, you can't. It's just like I can sit here and smile and talk, but we talk all the time, Z. You know if something's wrong with me. Everybody like, Webb, you good?
That's
And
every
if you hear me
that's
start,
every day. Something wrong with your ass every day. Yeah.
but you know what though, man? That's one thing about it. I tell people all the time, man. I never want to forget how to laugh. Because if I forget how to laugh, I forget how to love. And I forget how to love, I don't want to be around that crap, man. I mean, because laughter is medicine, man. Like I say, movement is medicine. And music is Susan Savage Beats, all that, man. Everything that keeps me in a good mood, my family, seeing their smiles, man, is uplifting to me. They're my peace. So I'll protect them thoroughly. So
Thanks for
better
sharing
than
that, man.
suicide, man.
Thanks for sharing that.
See,
Yeah,
you
go
always
ahead.
get me, see.
No, no, no,
You
no,
always get me,
no,
see.
because I know it's something you're very passionate about. You've been involved with that for a long time now, and I appreciate what you're doing. And you're absolutely right. You're right. How can you see those signs in terms of somebody's going to do something? You have no idea. So I always
Yeah,
recommend to folks, if you know a veteran, you know a service members as far, call them up to check on them. Say, how you doing? How's your
yeah.
day going? It should not be something transactional. It's just you calling to check on that person. Keep that
I'm glad you
ecosystem of
said that.
folks that you can talk to. When you transition, that does not mean this relationship you build in the military is all stopped, because the guys and girls can
Yeah.
relate to your story. So call a veteran,
I'm
check
glad
on
you.
them, see
I'm
how they're
glad you
doing.
said that. I'm glad you said that because you saying that, you and I talk all the time. So I want to put this out here to anybody, man, that listen. They need to get rid of this stigma, like, oh, well, I retired at this and that. Now I ain't got to worry about people, man. I'm gonna tell you that the worst thing you can do
Hmm.
is stay to yourself.
Yeah,
Worst thing you can do is stay. You got to communicate with the people that took care. You don't need a million people. You get you a handful of people, man. You know the solid. Like you, I can call on you for anything, man. You're locked in. Plus, my wife think you like awesome dude, man. I was like, yeah, all right, he's
that's
second
my
best.
sister, man. You know how it
Yeah,
is.
all right.
Yeah, that's my sister, man. But yeah, but no, if you can't just one more time, what is the name of the LLC? I know it's a nonprofit, and if somebody wants to assist, and
Yeah.
how can they get hold of you guys and support?
The Bearded Beast Movement LLC. The reason Derek named it the Bearded Beast Movement LLC because all of us are retired 13 Bravos, and some of us Zulus. Only one of us is a Zulu 5 whiskey. I ain't gonna say no names.
I ain't gonna say no name either.
But all of us got beards. because the one thing about it, all of us was clean shaven almost our whole career, man. And to get out and it's like a freedom beard. And plus, I don't feel like shaving now.
Yeah. If somebody want to follow you on the social media, I know you on Facebook. That's where you post
Yeah,
your videos and stuff like that in terms of bringing
yeah.
light to social to
Daryl Webster.
Daryl Webster. Okay,
Daryl Webster. Yeah,
Facebook.
Darrell Webster, like the dictionary.
I got you.
You know, and it's not for the faint of heart because I keep it 100 on these videos.
That's how
You
it's
know,
supposed to be. I got a couple of questions for you, man. Before I kind of
what's up?
cut you
What's up?
loose over here, some rapid fire, man. I
Uh-huh.
always would like to just ask folks in terms of their experience serving different location, different unit. So, what would you say has been your was your best unit serving in and why?
Fort Polk, Louisiana.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because it was the armpit of the army. No one wanted to go there. I went from staff sergeant non-promotable to first sergeant. And from 2004 December, when I made the seven list, I went from there, deployed a lot of times, and then when I left in '09, I was going to be a first sergeant. One artillery unit was down there. Who else was my competition? I'm looking at everything. A place that nobody wants to get. I put myself on orders there because people didn't want to go there. You got to challenge yourself. If you can go to places that people don't want to go and be that person, then so be it. But yes, it's a challenge. It wasn't the best place. It was the place I got challenged the most.
Yeah, that's not bad. Public's not a bad place. Been there. Doing my
That
JRTC
place is,
rotation, man. That's it. So that's not bad. Best best position and why?
I would say first sergeant, man.
No, 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 no.
Smoke, man. I'll say smoke, man. I'll say
Okay,
platoon sergeant, man.
doing something.
I say platoon sergeant. Yeah, smoke, man, because you really control everything. You make first sergeant job easy. Hence, it goes back to when your platoon sergeants made your job easy. We were in Alaska,
Yeah,
your position was pretty solid because you had some solid sergeant first classes.
yeah. Some good dudes,
I
man.
know them personally. Yeah,
Some good
very good
dudes.
dudes.
Real good dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
If you was to change something, right? Nothing personal, just professional. All those positions you
Mm.
serve, in all the deployment, whatever. If you was to change two things that you can look back, say, man, I wish I would have done this differently. What would that be?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, why?
Absolutely nothing. Because I wouldn't be where I am right now if I did something different. It would have a different trajectory. Because everything I did, never any regrets. I just focus on the here and now, man. Because if I say, yeah, I would have did this different, nope. Because if I did, I would not be how I am right now. I can go down a rabbit hole about this, man, but I'm not. People want to say, if I was this, I was that, man. You are who you are. Hold on to what we say. Hold on what you got, airborne.
Yeah.
Hold what you got, airborne. I'm holding what I got. Wouldn't change nothing.
Final question, yeah. Family play a huge role, right, within the service member life. I mean, because you are serving, and your family is serving.
Yeah.
What are some recommendations you would give to people who are currently serving, spouse is there, the matter of they got kids or not or no kids, how everybody's life is different, but there's
Yeah.
something
Everybody's life is
we
different.
all are familiar with. We all going to experience if you have a family in the military. There's something that comes along with it. What is some recommendations you can give for folks that are navigating that right now?
If they're navigating anything, whether it's uh you got a wife, you got kids, man, make sure you make time for your wife, man, to have a date night. You got to take some time, man, because she does everything. If you are on the other end and he's the homebody, you got to make sure you treat them right, man. And if you transition, y'all going through something, just understand the kids are not a pawn. The kids are there, man. They rock with you all day long. Because I went through a divorce late of like very early on. My son and I had the most solid relationship, and he's gonna be 26. But I always tell people, man, people like, well, I'm going through divorce and I can't. That man, it's gonna happen. You can't just stop, man.
Yeah.
I advise anybody, man, if you go through stuff. I've been with my wife now going on 24 years. We're locked in. I know you can't stand that. You like, man, why is she dealing with you?
She can do better, man, just being personally.
But I'll put this out to anybody, man. Communication. Communicate. Don't cut the other person off so you can comprehend what they're saying and just talk things out. Be patient. Don't try to take care of everything. Let them do what they do. Because when you come back from deployment or whatever, they did everything. You got to let them do what they do because it'll work out. But now I do everything because I love staying busy. My wife got it pretty freaking good.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks again, brother, for always coming on and sharing your thoughts, your
Man,
experiences. Anything else you would like to close out with?
I just want to say, man, I commend you. I thank you, Z, not only for being a friend, man, but a brother, man. You are more than a friend. Just, man, know that I'm always here, man. I will support you to no end. I'll just keep doing what you're doing, man. And I love the fact that you did this because people need to hear your voice and your hilarious ways. You're such a professional.
I try, man. I try. I have hanging out
You
the second best first song. Man, it's easy work.
Yeah, man. It's always an honor, though, Z, for real. It's always an honor.
I appreciate you, brother.